Aloha, welcome to A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students, Lesson 53. Today we're reviewing 5 lessons. We completed the first 50 lessons of the workbook, and now we're going through a review session, and today we're reviewing lessons 11 through 15. These lessons deal with meaningless thoughts and a meaningless world. Our meaningless thoughts are showing us a meaningless world. And what does the Course mean by meaningless thoughts? And meaningless thoughts are the thoughts that we don't think with God. They're the thoughts that cover up our real thoughts. So what are examples of meaningless thoughts? Well, they would be, as the Course would call them, they would be thoughts of attack, judgmental thoughts, and thoughts of specialness. Those in particular are thoughts that we have that the Course will deal with in these lessons and deals with in the text. So let's read and see how our meaningless thoughts are showing us a meaningless world. Lesson 53. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. So remember, we're talking about that. The way seeing works is through projection. Our thoughts in our mind are projected out of what we seem to experience as being outside of ourselves, and we call that seeing. So if what we're thinking are meaningless thoughts, like we've talked about thoughts of attacking, judgmental thoughts, thoughts of specialness, then if those thoughts really have no meaning, then, and they're producing the world we see, then the world we see is going to be meaningless as well. So what is producing this world is insane. These insane thoughts that come from a mind that we perceive as being separate from God or split off from the mind of God. And so what it produces is insane. Reality is not insane. And I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. The Course talks about a split mind, that our right mind and a wrong mind. And in the right mind, we think the thoughts of God, and that's all that's there, is the eternal thoughts of God and peace and joy and all these beautiful, beautiful thoughts. And then there's the wrong mind that perceives itself as split off from God, as having attacked God, that fears the wrath of God and feels this existential guilt. That's the wrong mind. So in that mind, we have these insane thoughts. But it says that I can see the real world. There is a real world to see. If I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing. And that is the purpose of the Workbook for A Course in Miracles. That to bring us to the place where we uncover and discover our real thoughts. So that's exciting. We can see this real world. The next one, number 2, says, I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world, but I am grateful that this world is not real. I mean, that can blow your mind. And this world that we perceive outside of ourselves is not real. And that I do not need to even see it at all unless I choose to value it. And that's another concept in the text, is that we see what we value. And as long as we value something, we're going to see it. So the Course is designed in such a way to show us what this world, to get us to really look at the world that our egoic thought system that we've associated ourselves with, what it has produced, what is its actual effects. And they are insane. And the Course wants us to get to see how insane and crazy they really are, so that we won't value it anymore, so that we will be willing to just let it go and let the real world take its place. So all I don't have to see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose. So we're making this a statement. We do value it somewhere, otherwise we wouldn't see it. So this is a statement that we are making another choice here. That I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. So if we don't see the world as totally insane and having no meaning and having things that are valuable, then we haven't really got there yet to where we actually do believe that it has no meaning and no value. But we've got to start somewhere, and that's where the Course is starting, right where we're at, and it's not putting any condemnation on us or anything. It's just gently leading us to the truth and to the real world, to our real thoughts, and to our real self. Isn't that cool? Isn't that wonderful? And we will get there because it's our will and it is the will of God. So we are making the statement that I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. So we're making another choice, or at least we're willing to make another choice. Number 3, a meaningless world engenders fear, of course. The totally insane engenders fear because it's completely undependable. And it offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. Kind of reminds me of the story of Alice in Wonderland, and I forget the exact words, but Alice is talking to the caterpillar and he's smoking his hookah. And, and they're talking about, well, what are you doing here? Why'd you come here to this crazy world? And you must be crazy, the caterpillar tells her, or you wouldn't be here. So we have these insane thoughts, if we wouldn't even be in this world if we didn't have these insane thoughts and these mad thoughts, this silly mad idea, the course cause of separation. But we don't have to stay in this world. We can leave it. And that's the wonderful thing. And it's up to us. We have the power to make another choice. Escape this fear that's in this mad world with no dependability. It holds out no safety, this world does. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. That's why there's nothing to fear. I have given this world the illusion of reality and have suffered because of my belief in it. And what person among us hasn't suffered because of our belief in the reality of this world? Now I choose to withdraw. We're making another choice here. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist. It does not exist, brothers and sisters. Number 4, God did not create a meaningless world. I spent my whole life, I was taught and believed, most of my life, that God created this world. And no wonder, myself and so many others question a God that would create a world like this, or question that how could there even be a God of love that would make a kind of world like this? And then I discover that God did not create this world. I was like believing an illusion or an untruth all this time, even since I was a little kid. God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world even exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in His mind. It is in my mind too, because He created it with me. This real world, God created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts? See, we're the one causing ourselves to suffer. It's our own insane thoughts. So why should we continue doing that when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really and truly abide. And 5, my thoughts are images that I've made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts, and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against Him, because it is not my will that they do so. My will is His, and I will place no other gods before him. And by that it means, it's kind of a reference to the Ten Commandments and not placing other gods before him. But there is no other gods. But whatever we trust or believe in, that we replace our reality, is an altar to a god. That's just a symbol. These gods are not real. And, they don't really threaten God, because God, like the Old Testament God, was jealous, and he always was like, oh, I'm going to punish you if you don't put me first. But God, the real God that we're talking about here, the God that created us, is not jealous of other gods. It has nothing to do. It's only when we put our trust in, the strength of other things instead of the strength of God, or put our trust in ourselves, in that symbolic language, we are trusting in other gods. And it's not going to offend God in any way. He's not offended, or she, or it. But it will hurt us, because it'll replace our true relationship and our knowledge of who we are and what we are. We don't have to depend on anything other than the love of God. Remember that one that said, I am sustained. Lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God. That is what sustains us. So, brothers and sisters, bless you today. I love you. See you everywhere. And I'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.